So thank you so much for the questions. And to answer the question, the core components of a virtual machine, we start with a hypervisor. So you can either have a type 1 hypervisor or a type 2 hypervisor. A type 1 hypervisor being one that you run straight on your hardware and then you can deploy your virtual machines from there. Type 2 being one that you have inside another operating system, then you can deploy your virtual machines that way. So that would be a perfect example would be something like VirtualBox, and then for Type 1 hypervisor, you'd have something like Proxmox, or you'd have something like VMware EXSI, I believe it's called. And so these are the two different kinds of hypervisors that you need in order for you to run your virtual machines. And so what are the core components of virtual machines? So the very first thing that I can think of is your virtual hard disk. So this is essentially a hard drive or virtual hard drive that is a folder that is taken away from your host computer, and then you essentially use this folder to then run your operating system for your virtual machine. So it's essentially taking a little bit of space from your host computer and using that to deploy your virtual machine. And the second thing that I can think of for a core component for a virtual machine would be your virtual RAM. So again, it is the same concept. You're taking from your host computer's RAM and then you're using this for deploying your virtual machine. The third thing is obviously your CPU, because you cannot have a computer that's running without a CPU. So you're also taking some of that processing power from your host computer and you're using that to run your virtual machine. And so now you also need an operating system. And so you now have a full complete computer that has got virtual hard drive, virtual RAM, virtual CPU, virtual network interface card. And so now you have your operating system that you're going to deploy on these on the hardware, and then now you can run this virtual machine. And so, what are some of the benefits that we can see from virtualization when it comes to a business? Some of the things that I could think of would be just a reduction in costs. I can imagine if there's a business that's running its operation, it has more than just one. Obviously, it has more than just one server. You have your file server, your DNS server, you have your web server, and these different kinds of servers. And so what you need is space, and you need to maintain these things. You need a lot of computing power. You obviously need to maintain it, like I said. So with virtualization technology, what you can do is you can cut off all of these other extra costs that you have normally with many different kinds of servers, and actually just deploy one big machine that you can then install using a type 1 or a type 2 hypervisor to run your operation, and then you can have different kinds of your servers just running from one computer. And so it will provide us with a lot of security. It will provide us with centralization, because you're running all of these virtual machines from one computer. And so this will be something that will obviously save you a lot of money as well, because you're not having to spend a lot of money to take more and more of these powerful computers and putting them in your premises, because you wind up running out of space. So those are some of the benefits that you have with virtualization. Another great benefit of virtualization is disaster recovery. So what you can do is you're running this deployment, and then you can just save a snapshot or an image of your virtualized machines. You can have them on the cloud in case of a disaster. If something has to happen, maybe a typhoon or something like a tsunami is to completely destroy your business, you know that you are not going to start from zero, because you have got this snapshot of your virtualized environment that you can just take, and then you can deploy it whenever you're back on your feet again. And the last thing is you can actually utilize virtualization and use it for deployment and testing. So essentially, if you've got a company where you maybe need to test a lot of these softwares that you make on premises, you can just take and use virtualized computers and then run these softwares to make sure that these softwares don't have any bugs and that they are proper for you to then sell them or to deploy them in your company. The other thing that you can also do with this environment is to test updates. Maybe there is a certain update that Microsoft has pushed out, and you need to just test it to make sure that it does not disrupt your whole operation. So you can just easily just put it in this isolated environment, and then you can test it that way to make sure that you don't disrupt your operation by just deploying it straight away. So that is essentially what are the core components of virtualization, as well as how you can deploy and use it and leverage it for a business. Thank you.